Okay, let's take a look at the law of sines. I don't know if you've noticed, this is just one page, so it's going to be nice and easy. Let's just make sure we write things down very clearly and do a good job. So for any triangle, does not have to be a right triangle. It could be obtuse, acute. Let's label this triangle as A, B, C. Big capital letters for the angles, and then you put the little sides across from angle A as little side A, little side B, and little side C. Okay, so what does the rule look like? If you take the sine of capital A, sine of angle A, and you divide it by side little a, makes a fraction, okay, equals. I need to make another fraction over here. So let's write sine of angle B, and that would get divided by side little b. Now hopefully you know 3 of these things and there's just one of them you don't know, and then what would you do? You would cross multiply, okay? We cross multiply to solve the proportion. Some people are probably wondering, well, what about C? Okay, so equals sine of angle C divided by side little c. They're all proportional. You don't ever have to make all 3 at once. If you know B's and C's, make it this way, cross multiply, find your missing side. If you know A's and C's, make these 2 and solve it from there. So this is the 3 fractions. You make any 2 that you need. Okay, another little note, when it says solve the triangle, solve means to find all missing sides and angles. So it wants you to find all the missing information about the triangle. Okay, so you have to find 3 things. All right, let's just make sure that we work very organized here. So let's start with a diagram. Does not matter how you draw it. Doesn't have to be a right triangle. It's just sides and angles of ABC. Okay, let's put the numbers on now. It says that side A is 8. So across from angle A, let's put in 8. Angle A is 36 degrees. And the measure of angle B is 48 degrees. Okay, so there's always going to be 3 things that are missing. I notice we're missing the measure of angle C, so I'm going to make an answer box over here. Measure of angle C is something we have to find. We have side little a. We don't have side little b or side C. So those are the 3 things we're going to have to find. They always give us 3, we find 3. All right, what's the first one you want to go for? Did you guys know that the triangle, the 3 angles add up to 180? Okay, so finding the measure of angle C, that's going to be really fast. In fact, that's going to be a nice easy answer. So let's just grab our calculator. 180 minus 48 minus 36 is going to be, okay, 96 degrees. And that's exact, so I'll use the equal sign. We're getting there, 1/3 of the way done. And now it's your choice. Do you want to find side little b next? Yeah, let's do B. It's in the row here. Okay, so if we're going to find side B, we're going to have to make the proportion sine of 48 degrees divided by side B. Okay, now I already have one missing variable. I need to have all numbers. So I don't think I could use 96 because that's going to give me another variable. Let's go this way. Let's say sine of 36 degrees goes with 8. Okay, and then we're just going to cross multiply. So when you cross multiply each way, you end up with an equation. I'm going to put the 8 in front. 8 times the sine of 48 degrees. So it doesn't look like it's 488. Put the number in front or use lots of parentheses. When you cross this way, on the other side of the equal sign, it's going to be b times the sine of 36 degrees. And then to find side little b, we're going to have to divide by the sine of 36 degrees. Cancel, cancel. All right, it is calculator time. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pick up our calculator. And 8 times the sine of 48. It is very important, especially for these, that we close the parentheses. Stop the sine function. Then we'll divide by the sine of 36. Okay, you could also use the fraction button on the calculator if you want. And little b is approximately 10.11. Okay, so we could fill in our chart here. This is an approximate answer, so use the squigglies. And we've got one side to go. Okay, one side to go. So we have to find side little c now. So let's do sine of 96 degrees over side little c. Okay, now we need to make another fraction. Let's see, I know side B is 10.11, but that was approximately equal to. So if I could avoid that number, I will. Maybe I don't want to use the chopped number. Let's go with these other two again. Let's use 36 degrees and the 8. Those are exact, so that'll be nice. Sine of 36 degrees divided by 8. Sometimes it's impossible to avoid using one of the rounded answers, but if you can avoid it, then, go ahead. All right, so we're going to have to cross multiply here. When we cross one way, it's 8 times the sine of 96 degrees. Cross this way, and c times the sine of 36. We have to isolate the c, so let's divide both sides by the sine of 36 degrees. Sine of 36 degrees, and this is going to be approximately equal to some nice answer that I would love to see in a box right here. In fact, let's put all of our answers for this one in a nice box. So when I'm grading your test or quiz, it would be really nice if all your answers were grouped together. These are the 3 missing pieces of information, and then you put them together. All right, let's try it one more time. Solve the triangle. All right, let's draw the triangle first of all. Triangle ABC, and we'll put the information given, and then we'll know what information we have to go for, and we'll be on our way. Side little b is 7, little c is 12.5, angle C is 32 degrees. Okay, I don't think we can do that fun thing where we subtract to find missing angles. Okay, so I know that we need to find measure of angle A. That's one of the things. We also have to find the measure of angle B, and we're missing side A. Okay, so here's the 3 things we have to find. That's my to-do list. Which one should we find first? I guess it doesn't matter. Let's go for, well, I don't know if I can find measure of angle A, huh? Measure of angle A goes with little a. All right, I can't find A. I'm going to have to go for angle B. I'm going to have to find measure of angle B first. The sine of angle B divided by 7. Okay, people ask me, well, how do you know? Well, just start to try it. If you have too many variables, try again. Try the other angle. For instance, here I can't say angle A with A. I'll have to do sine of 32 degrees. That goes with 12.5. All right, so we're going to cross multiply here. 7 times the sine of 32 degrees is equal to 12.5 times the sine of angle B. We're trying to solve for B, trying to get B alone. So let's divide both sides by 12.5. 12.5, okay. Do not pick up your calculator until you're absolutely ready for it. 7 times the sine of 32 degrees divided by 12.5 equals the sine of B. How do we find a missing angle? I know that this is a number over here, and this says sine of angle B. That's right, we have to do inverse. We have to do inverse sine to this number. So the first thing I'll do is type inverse sine, and then maybe what I'll do is the alpha y equals, go get a fraction. So we've got 7 times the sine of 32 degrees on top, 12.5 on the bottom. So I'm going to inverse sine this ratio over here. And the angle is about, measure of angle B is approximately 17.26 degrees. Okay, what some people do, especially if you don't have the modern calculator, 7 times the sine of 32 divided by 12.5, and they get this number here. And there's lots of decimals even beyond this. And I know that this number here is equal to the sine of B. So what you can do is second sine and then second answer. It takes all these decimals plus more and it finds the angle for you. Okay, so you can do it that way if you don't have the fraction button. Just don't chop any of these off or say 8/8 or 8/9. There's more than that. Okay, so we've got one of the angles, which is 17.26. Now you're in luck, because if you know two angles of a triangle, you can automatically find the third. Okay, the three angles must add up to 180. So I'm going to take 180, subtract off 17.26, subtract off 32. And so this one is going to be approximately as well 130.74 degrees. But those three numbers added up should always make 180 perfectly. Okay, so the measure of angle A is 130.74. All right, there we go. And now we have to find side little a. We've got one more calculation to do. So let's start our law of sines. It's got to be sine of 130.74 degrees over side A. I know we said try not to use a rounded answer if you can, but we have to use that. Now our other options are the rounded one with 7. Oh, let's use this one. Let's say sine of 32 degrees over 12.5. Okay, once you make your proportion, we're just going to cross multiply. A times the sine of 32 is equal to 12.5 times the sine of 130.74. Divide both sides by sine of 32 degrees. So we can get a sine of 32 degrees. You know what I'm in the mood for? A nice answer right here in the box. All right, I can't wait to see your answers tomorrow. Thank you.